Hey there, this is attorney Sarah Holmes of Holmes Business Law P.C. We are a business and trademark law firm that also offers general counsel subscription services to clients. Another question we get often is, how do I transfer equity in my business? First of all, let's figure out what that means. So transferring equity in your business, let's say you are an LLC or you have a business form that's an LLC and you are the sole member. Right now, you own 100% equity of that LLC. If you, let's say, want to give a spouse some equity, let's say you want to have your spouse be a 51% owner, or let's say you want your brother to come into business with you and you want to transfer 25% ownership to them, or you have an employee that you want to reward for doing a good job and transfer 10% of your equity. That is functionally an equity transfer agreement. And there's a lot of things to keep in mind with an equity transfer. So number one, whether you realize it or not, the equity that you own in your business and the membership interests are in fact securities, and you could have securities laws issues if you're going to sell those membership interests or shares if you're a corporation to someone else. So always be aware of that. If you have a corporate form, like let's say you have a corporation, an S corporation set up, then what you have is stock. Stock is definitely securities, falls under securities laws, and just transferring or selling that to people willy-nilly can definitely run afoul of the SEC and securities laws in the US. So you have to be really careful with that. When you do equity transfers, you have to figure out for what purpose are you doing this? Are you doing it as the purpose of you're bringing in a new business partner? Is it the purpose of you want to reward an employee for good service and give them some ownership in your business? Are you doing it to raise money from investors? So you are selling equity in the company for that purpose? Because different rules and different guidelines will apply depending on what you're doing. The other thing you really have to think about is, what types of rights do you want this new person that's going to hold equity to have? And you have to be really careful, because most equity is going to come with the same rights that you have now, depending on what you have in your documents. And if you don't have proper documents in place, you might be very upset to learn later that this new person in your business has all kinds of rights that you didn't mean to give to them. So they could have voting rights, they could have rights to manage your business, they could have rights to prevent your business from doing certain things, such as raising capital, taking on any type of debt, admitting even more members. So you have to look very carefully at what types of rights you are also granting in an equity transfer. And this is definitely an area where you want to get legal counsel and not just wing it. Next, what you have to do is documents to transfer that equity have to be prepared. So if you have an LLC, that's going to look at membership certificates, so you have those. If you have a corporation, someone's going to need to see your stock certificates, if you had stock certificates, and your logbook. And if you had an operating agreement in your LLC, that's probably going to have to be amended, and make sure you're clear on what rights people have in the operating agreement in terms of voting and getting out of the business and the day-to-day management. And then if you have a corporation, that obviously is going to be your shareholder agreement. So be very clear on what types of rights you are moving around. We have clients all the time that might want to give employees some rewards. And in that instance, we have to really be careful that they're not running afoul of ERISA laws, which have to do with pension plans. We have to make sure that if they want a vesting schedule, that we have a vesting schedule. We have to make sure that ownership of the business is tied to them remaining employed and in good standing, because if your employee quits, you don't want them still owning equity in your business, even if they're no longer working for you. So there's a lot of moving pieces to transferring equity to another party. Of course, if you need help with this, feel free to reach out to our office. Our number is 215-482-0285. In the meantime, if you want to grab our free business checklist to protect your business and yourself, click on the link below. Thanks.